What's up YouTube, it's Tonio of Foreign Digital, and today I'm going to be breaking down that loop I just played for y'all in the intro. Main focus going to be showing y'all how to get that YoungBoy vibe from your chords, how to get the top melody in your piano, and then just like good sounds to layer, what you should stick away from when you're layering. If you fuck with the content, we're going to be coming heavy with a lot more. We're really locking in, we're going to be coming with tutorials and loop kits every week, and then we're going to start doing beat battles and really like fun shit like that for y'all. So subscribe if you're enjoying it, go follow us on Instagram if you got a moment for us, and if you fuck with my content, I also got a YouTube of my own where I do tutorials, loop kits, shit like that. And then I also got an Instagram if you want to check that out. DM me, you want to collab, whatever. I'm always down to work with y'all. I want to keep y'all waiting much longer though, and I really don't think I got much more to say. So let's just get into this breakdown. So first things first, you want to start with your piano and get like a good sound. I suggest this one, the Grandeur, Neuer from Contact as well, Keyscape or Addictive Keys. But if you don't got any of those, just use what you got, make it work. Anyways, like getting into the actual MIDI of it. I used a 1, 6, 7, 5 chord progression, and so I was in C minor, and what that sounds like is you want to start with your root, and so I'm going to start here with C minor, come down to my 6, which is G sharp major, up to my 7, A sharp major, down to my 5, which is G minor. And so I played that, and then I just kind of added some transition notes in here when I was playing it. So I added these two notes right here, this A sharp and this C right here. That just kind of sounds like this. Super simple little chord progression. And then over here I just copied it over and added this little run just for some variation, and then I added these two notes just for some more variation. And I just brought down bass notes. Just find something reliable that like kind of conveys the emotion you want. You don't gotta go crazy. You just really want a vibe right there from your chords. And so the effects I put on the piano was I put a EQ, just cut some frequencies I didn't like, and then I added a reverb, turned the mix down, and then I added this RC20 preset, which I usually don't add RC20 to my main piano, but I wanted just a different type of sound for this one. So I turned the mix down, turned a lot of stuff down, and just kind of made it subtle, but gave it like a little bit more of a vintage flavor. And so after that, I went to my top melody, and for this, a lot of pain beats, I like trying to go crazy on my top melody, but this one, I really wanted to focus more on my layering and the sound selection instead of like having this crazy melody. So this wasn't a focal point, and I kept it pretty simple, and the way I made it was I just freestyled some keys in, and this is what it sounds like. Like I said, super simple little melody right there. Just played it on my MIDI, and the only like really big rule I'd say is if you're gonna click it in, you're gonna play it in, whatever, just like focus on your spacing and your bounce. That's the biggest thing for a top melody, is that you don't want this like annoying, like really annoying spacing where it's like everything's just cluttered together, or you're not playing enough notes. Just get like a little moderate type of spacing where you're gonna have like runs, and then you're gonna have open space, and then go back to some runs. Just your spacing and your pacing is kind of the biggest things with the top melody. And the effects on this, just cut out and boosted some frequencies again with an EQ, reverb, quite a bit of it, just to give it more of like an ambient feel, a little delay, not too much. And then I added this vinyl, turned the dust off, and then kind of turned the wear up just to give it more of a vintage feel again. Next thing I did was came and I added my bass line in, and this is the best bass like ever. I have a bass behind me, like a real bass that I stopped using just because it sounds better. And I use this Night Sessions preset, Scarby Rickenbacker bass. Like I said, it's the best bass ever, and if you're really gonna make pain, I suggest you get it. But if not, there's other good basses too. Contact has a couple other good ones. There's a One Shots are good, and then FL actually has a stock bass called Boo Bass, which is really good if you tweak the knobs a little bit. But for the MIDI of the bass, you kind of just want to like find your roots of your chords. So we have our roots right here, and you want to play those, and then you kind of just want to play some runs in between them. And so you can see that I just played these little like notes that transition the chords together, transition the roots together. And so that's all it really is. And if you're having like a hard time like deciding what notes to play in between them, I say just kind of look at your top melody for inspiration and decide from there. But only other thing about the bass is that you kind of want to like pay attention to like the details, since it's going to be a pretty simple MIDI. So pay attention to the velocities all down here, And then if you like pay attention to the length of your notes, because this VST and a lot of other bass VSTs will slide if you like make them overlap. So pay attention to that, and then pay attention to like this, how I kept it short here, because like bass players are gonna mute their notes and stuff too. So just pay attention to the length and the velocity of your notes to like make up for how simple the MIDI is gonna be, if that makes sense. Next thing I did though was I came into analog labs and I got a little Rhodes, little E piano, just simple piano. And I kind of just played the exact same chords in. I just played them in a little different of a style. So I just kind of inverted the third for all of them. Did that for all the chords. And then I added like a different top melody just for some variation. And this was just to add like a little cool layer that doesn't sound the exact same though. So you get like a little bit of a different vibe from it, different energy from it. And on this I added EQ, highs and lows cut out, reverb, and then I just added the stereo imager to make it wider in the mix, which is what I do a lot for my like backing melodies. And then after that I just came in and I got another Rhodes from Analog Lab. It's called Moment by Moment, pretty good preset. I think I turned the brightness down a little bit just to get a better sound. And for this one I again just played in the same chords but a different style, and this one sounds pretty weird like by itself. Kind of weird sound by itself, but like in the context of the melody it sounds good. And for the effects on it, just cut the lows, cut a harsh frequency that I didn't like, a little bit of reverb, and then I added this pancake, turn the mix down a little bit. It just gives it a little bit more movement in your ears, so you can like, and I did that so the like other Rhodes and the other piano don't kind of just like clash together. Like this gives it its own space in the mix whenever it's moving left to right like that. And then after that, it became pretty simple because I just started adding like the basic pain stuff. And so I added the little wah that's in all the pain shit. And then I added the little guitar riff that's in all the pain shit too. And then after that, I came into arcade, and this was the last melodic element that I added. And I just played out some very, very simple vocal chops. Reverb, made it wide in the mix again with the imager, cut off all the lows and a little bit of the highs, and then I added this really cool Portal preset. It's called Chamber, and it pretty much is like a low pass, but like it's done in a like different way. I just like it more than like traditional low passes for vocals and some other like effects whenever I just want to make it like tuck it in the back of the mix. But the vocals sound like this, like I said, super simple chops. But anyways, that's the melody pretty much. Closing thoughts are pretty much just don't like overdo shit. Like whenever you add something, it doesn't always have to be the main part of the melody or stick out. Like whenever you add stuff, like it's okay for it to be subtle. It's okay for you to like feel it more than you hear it. Just know how to like make everything play its role in the mix pretty well. Like I said, if you enjoy the content, subscribe. I'm probably going to be releasing a pain loop kit pretty soon. It may drop before this video, it may drop after, I'm not sure. Tune in if you want to hear that. This loop will probably be in it. Thank you for the support, thank you for watching if you made it this far, and I'll probably see y'all pretty soon. I'm going to start recording these videos a lot more and getting more content out on the channel. Thank you again, and I'll see you on the next one.